What's up, everybody? King Triple C here, the Olympic champion, flyweight champion, the bantamweight champion of the world. And I got a public service announcement to all you wannabe MMA casuals or MMA fans for that reason. You guys make sure to listen to my boy's Story of the Fight with Will and Miro. You know why? Because Triple C said so. And if you don't, you can do me a favor and you can bet the knee to King Triple C 2.
What up, Will?
What up?
Hey, I can't think of a card I've been more excited for recently, at least.
Yeah.
As I am for UFC 259.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous.
So for the during the last podcast, we talked about doing a preview with some of our picks, at least for the main card.
Yeah.
So let's get after it, man. Now, first, before we start talking about the main card, let's talk about. I mean, it's stacked. Tim Elliott's gonna be on this card.
Yeah.
Your boy Kai Kara France versus Rogerio Bontorin. Man, our boy Joseph Benavidez.
Yeah, Askarov also.
Dude, I mean.
Yeah, undefeated.
The Song Yadong.
Yeah, exactly. Kyler Phillips honestly is not a slouch either. And then obviously Dominic Cruz taking on Casey Kenny, dude, on the prelims headliner is crazy.
What about what's his name talking trash to Dom Cruz?
No nonsense.
No nonsense. Keith Peterson, right?
The NNKP.
Yeah, coming in hard against Dom Cruz, which gets us to the main card.
Sean Brady versus Jake Matthews.
Sean Brady
that's
versus
an awesome
Jake
fight.
Matthews.
Awesome fight.
There it is.
It's early. Yeah.
Dude, it's stacked. This is one of those cards where you can get it started from the very beginning and just watch it all the way through and know that you're just going to have a great fight going all the way through.
Yeah.
So the fight we're going to get started with, though, Thiago Santos versus Alexander Rakić. This is going to be a really good fight. So Thiago currently ranked number 2 versus Alexander Rakić, ranked number 4. Now, if you're looking for betting odds, we got your boy Santos coming at plus 166 on a website called Opening. I haven't heard of him. You said you've heard of him? Nope, neither have I, but plus 166. Alexander Rakić coming in at minus 157, the favorite on 5 dimes.
Yeah, that's his best odds.
Best odds that I was able to find. Thiago coming off of a loss against Glover Teixeira by rear naked choke. 2-fight losing streak for him.
Yeah.
I mean, a little spread out. One of them was against John Jones, so.
Yeah, that some people thought he won even with torn up knees.
Two torn up knees, right?
Like every ligament in his knee.
Just gone.
Yeah, it was like, I remember after the fight, it was like ACL, MCL, LCL. And I was like, what the fuck, dude? How's he even standing?
Meniscus.
Crazy.
You name it.
Yeah.
He tore it. So,
whole knee. The whole knee.
When you take a look at Alexander Rakić, last win coming off of Anthony Smith by decision.
And kind of a fight that people thought he was going to showcase a little bit more of himself in. I know a lot of people were, not really me, but a lot of people were kind of disappointed in him, even though he won, which is weird, always weird.
Similar story to Cyril Gahn, right, where he did what he had to do and went in there. Somewhat of a dominant performance. But lost previously to Volkan Ozdemir.
Which I think he probably won. I think I had Rakić winning that fight.
So either way, this is going to be a good matchup. Who do you have in this fight?
Honestly, dude, it's this is one of those ones where this fight more than any should be like the pick'em odds, in my opinion. It's kind of crazy that they're not like lopsided odds either way, but the fact that there's like a clear favorite and a clear underdog in this fight is kind of crazy to me just because of how explosive both of these guys are. I guess I understand why Rakić is the slight favorite, just because he's more defensively sound. They're both have knockout power, both super explosive. Thiago gets a little wild though, and that's kind of cost him in some of his fights. But I do think I honestly going with Santos in this one. I think Santos does a really good job at making people fight sloppy, especially early in the fight. And for some reason, I just feel like he's just gonna force openings out of Rakić and kind of clip him. Even though I know Rakić is the smart pick, right? He's good. He's defensively sound. He's a sniper. I don't know. A lot of people think he's gonna win this fight handily, but I don't know. I just feel like Thiago Santos has that like crazy like question mark factor to like when he fights that you have no idea what's gonna come out from him. Where Rakić is a little bit more like traditional. If that makes sense.
Absolutely. So this was a really hard fight for me to pick.
It's the hardest one for me.
And for me, the hard part is I take a look at history and I think about his fight against Jon Jones, where I say, well, if he was able to do that against Jon Jones with 2 jacked up knees, he should be able to handle Rakić pretty handily, right? But
that's
then
what everybody said going into
same
Glover.
thing going into the Glover Teixeira fight.
Yeah.
And here we are talking about his last loss against Glover Teixeira. Now, Glover Teixeira is no slouch. He might be 75 years old.
Should be fighting.
Still doing.
Should be fighting for Jan's belt on this card, in my opinion.
I agree, but he's not. And so, when I take a look at this fight, my gut tells me to go with Alaeksandar Rakić.
Yeah,
because I feel like he's going to make it a little bit dirtier, more of a defensive fighter. He knows that he needs to take away that reach from Thiago for him to come in with that heavy Maheta.
Yeah,
of a right hand.
Kunikaya.
Yeah, and just pitting him up against the cage, and just clinching as much as possible to take away those power punches.
Yeah, from those craziness. Yeah.
Yeah. So as much as my heart tells me go Thiago Santos because I enjoy watching him fight, I gotta pick Alaeksandar Rakić. I'm going with my gut feeling here.
Yeah,
it's not going to be the most entertaining fight in the world. I don't think it's going to be the most entertaining fight in the world, no.
Yeah.
The first round, I think, might be entertaining because we're going to see Thiago being really explosive and Rakić trying to figure out a way to get inside and be able to pin him up against the cage. But I feel like this is going to be something that drags out, and I got Alaeksandar Rakić by decision.
Yeah, honestly, Rakić by decision is my gut feeling. But for some reason, I just feel like Santos is going to get it done. I have no insight into that, or like I have no like technical reason. I just feel like for some reason that like volatile energy that Santos brings against someone like Rakić, I don't know. For some reason, I feel like he's gonna find an opening that's there. I just don't know.
I wouldn't be disappointed if you're right. I wouldn't be disappointed if you're right, man.
Yeah, I'm probably wrong.
All right, so the next fight, Islam Makhachev, best odds. Coming in at -340, again from this opening site. I got to look it up after this.
Yeah, apparently they're slinging out odds. What do they have him at?
-340.
Okay,
versus unranked, and I'm surprised he's unranked as well with the UFC.
Yeah.
Unranked
it's because lightweight, like we've talked about it before, lightweight 10 through 20 is fucking
monsters.
Gnarly right now.
Absolutely.
It's so gnarly. Yeah, and they're just not getting... There's people in the top 10 that aren't fighting that are kind of holding their spots a little bit.
So, Drew Dober, though, best odds +310 on 5 dimes as well.
Okay,
so
yeah.
If anybody's just thinking like, man, can't wait to bet on Drew Dober, now you know.
5 dimes.
That's where you're going to get the best odds. So, Makhachev, 6-fight win streak. A lot of canceled bouts in between.
Yeah.
Drew Dober 3-fight win streak, with his last being against Alexander Hernandez.
Yeah.
People racking up
who do you have?
against that guy. Islam Makhachev.
Yeah.
Islam Makhachev. I have him by decision as well. Good fights. We continue hearing a lot of people talk about Makhachev's potential.
Yeah.
And I feel like we might have not seen it yet, but we think about all those canceled bouts that going from fight to fight on Islam, we might forget just how good and dominant he could be. Yeah,
definitely. I think, like you said, everybody's talking about how dominant he is. Habib's saying he's the next me. Everybody's saying he's the next Khabib. DC's out there saying, hey, he's like Khabib with better striking, which is like crazy to say, but it's also DC hyping up his boy. I have It sucks because the odds are so stacked, obviously, in his favor. And I wouldn't be surprised if Dober pulls this off, to be honest. I think Dober has shown that, like, he's improving tremendously, and I think he's a really, really, like, elite fighter. I think he really is. I love watching the guy fight. And I would not be surprised if he knocks out Makhachev, if I'm being honest.
Really?
I wouldn't be surprised at all, dude. His hands are hard as fuck, and he's sneaky with his strikes. He's got like a weird timing thing going on where he's not super unorthodox. It's not like he's throwing stuff that you don't expect. It's just his timing is really weird. And I feel like somebody like Makhachev might not be ready for that kind of like disruptive timing. Mm-hmm. But in the grand scheme of things, you also have to look at the last 3 losses for Dober are all submissions. Dariush got him with an armbar. Olivier Aubin-Mercier got him with a rear naked choke. And then Efren Escudero got him with a guillotine choke. So 3 different submissions are his last 3 losses. I have Makhachev winning with a submission, probably in like the second round. Okay,
submission. So we both have Makhachev.
Yeah. And I wanted to say that about Drew Dober up front because I figured we were both probably picking Makhachev. The odds are so stacked on Makhachev, but I don't want to just like completely pull the rug out from under Drew Dober and say like this man has no chance, because I do think he's a really, really tough guy, and he has a kind of a unique skill set where, like I said, nothing too unorthodox where he's going to get a ton of attention, but he just seems like he gets it done, you know, and like that guy's a fucking dog, and I really like watching him fight. So I didn't want to just be like, Makhachev, run through him, second round of submission. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, for sure. And now I'm hoping that this somewhat becomes a breakout fight for Makhachev as well.
It's supposed to be,
and
right?
See if he's able to. We've been saying that a lot lately.
Exactly.
For a lot of these fighters. So we'll see how it goes, because Dober's definitely no slouch, no punk. So if he's able
I also I don't want the narrative after this fight. If Makhachev wins, I don't want the narrative to be, he was supposed to win that fight, because, dude, a win over Drew Dober right now is a feather in your cap. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Like, I do think this is I think Drew Dober should be in the top 10, honestly, but he's not. Just sucks. Maybe top 15.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And I mean, he's got some experience too. 32 fights under his belt.
32 fights, dude. He's fought a who's list.
Yep.
You know.
Yep. So on this next one here with Petr Yan and Aljamain Sterling.
Moving into the championship fights.
Hold it. Producer's note here. You guys heard about the Mars rover, the Perseverance. Made it to Mars. Well, we've got a transmission coming back from that planet. Y'all get ready. Y'all are ready for this one.
All right.
Your boy. That's better. Your boy's here. Better yet, your boy is back. Your boy is back with a special announcement that'll guarantee y'all a peace of mind. How will it guarantee y'all a peace of mind? I'm glad you asked. We're talking UFC 259, stacked card from top to bottom. But even though it's a stacked card, you kind of have a good idea of who's gonna win every fight. Every fight, except one, the bantamweight championship of the world, between the champ himself, Petr Yan, defending against the clear-cut #1 contender, Aljamain Sterling. And I get it. On paper, like I said, you got the champ and the clear-cut #1 contender. The 1 and 2 of the division going at it. Man, it's going to be a great fight. But let me tell you who's going to win. I'm going to tell you who's going to win so you don't have to worry about making the prediction yourself, all right? Because I'm a nice guy sometimes, all right? I kind of like y'all, so I want to do this for y'all. So here it is. And your winner, and still the bantamweight champion of the world, Petr No Mercy Yan. No disrespect to Aljamain Sterling, but it's Yan's era. It's Yan's era. It's his time. All right? Now, how I got Yan winning this is simple. Aljamain, no disrespect, great fighter, but what's going to hurt him is the striking. The lack of technique he has in his striking. All right? He's got holes there, man. He likes to swing wild. someone who has a master sports in boxing like Peter Yan is going to eat, man. He's going to feast on that. He's going to sit on those. He's going to wait and sit and counter the hell out of that. Not only that, man, he's going to pressure the hell out of Aljamain Sterling. Aljamain Sterling, great wrestler. You may think, hey, he's going to get pressured. Maybe let's go shoot for a takedown. But your boy Yan, man, he ain't no slouch in the grappling department himself, man. He's at an 88% takedown defense. All right? His takedown defense is pretty damn good. So Aljamain, your best bet is to take it to the ground, but it's not really going to happen. If you do manage to take him there, Jan's going to get right back up. He's going to get right back up. He's going to pummel you. He's going to pummel you 3-4 rounds, TKO, KO, and still. You heard it here. Go ahead. Bet your money. Be at ease. And when you win those bets, remember me, remember this, because I want a cut of that money. Back to the boys at the Neverland Ranch.
The Neverland Ranch.
Back to the boys at the Neverland Ranch. Nice. So, man, our boy George over there, thank you for that, George, has it along with the most of the odds makers there, where they have Petr Yan favored.
Mm-hmm.
Now, taking a look at this, at the Neverland Ranch, while I'm sitting here, so there's a couple sites that have them dead even. You got 5 Dimes,
Yeah.
sports betting. There's one website, again, opening, just slanging these odds, where they have Aljamain Sterling plus 130, Petr Yan minus 150. Other than that, it's pretty much a pick 'em.
Mm-hmm.
How do you see this going now?
I want Aljamain to win this fight. And I do see paths to victory. I get the 88% takedown defense that Petr Yan has. But I also understand that he hasn't really fought, and at least in the UFC, super strong wrestlers. You know what I mean? I know he fought Uriah Faber. Uriah Faber was probably, like 60 years old in that fight. So
You could say he's at the end of his career.
yeah, it's not like he's shooting power double legs on people anymore.
Yeah.
It's just not the same. Aljamain is not just a really good wrestler, but he's sneaky with his grappling. Like, he's super sneaky on his openings. And I see that path of victory for Aljamain. If Aljamain can create these kind of scramble positions, I could see him honestly subbing Petr Yan. If they spend any time on the ground for a long period, I think he could submit him fairly easy, honestly. But on the flip side of that, there are some openings in Aljamain's striking. Aljamain is loose. He's so loose on the feet, and sometimes that's a good thing and sometimes that's a bad thing. I don't think it's a good thing against someone like Petr Yan, who is very disciplined with his technique and is very crisp. No wasted energy, excellent timing. I think if Aljamain's throwing these long, kind of like, not lazy, and sloppy sounds a little too like aggressive, but it's kind of sloppy. You know what I mean? Like, his striking is it's slick, but it's kind of loose. And when you're fighting someone like Petr Yan, I think he like George said, I think he counters that very well. You know, if he just stays disciplined, which I think he will, I could see him kind of just picking apart Yan for 5 rounds, and just kind of just stopping any threat that Aljamain has. Like I said, I hope Aljamain wins, but I have Yan winning this fight.
You know who else is a pretty good striker? Is Corey Sandman Sandhagen.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and I don't think that's the first great striker that Aljamain has faced, and Aljamain's game has been very similar. Right, so nothing new that Aljamain is going to see.
Yeah.
That is why I'm personally going with Aljamain Sterling. And, you know, Aljamain doesn't have very many knockouts to his record. A lot of decisions, a lot of submissions. And I don't know if he'll be able to submit Petr Yan.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that he eventually gets it to the ground and is able to maintain a lot of top dominance there.
Mm-hmm.
Again,
That's Sarah Longo, man.
yeah. Petr Yan, really great fighter. We saw what he did at Jose Aldo, and a lot of people say, well, Jose Aldo's at the end of his career as well, but he's still pretty damn good. He's still pretty damn good.
That's the criticism with Yan, right? Is that he kind of got his title fight off of beating people at the end of their career.
So you have Jinsu Son, Douglas Andrade, John Dodson, Jimmy Rivera, Uriah Faber, Jose Aldo that he has faced.
Yeah, you look at Aljamain's list, very different.
A lot of killers in there, man. So that's what I'm saying. I don't think Aljamain's going to go in there outmatched or I don't think he's going to go in there seeing anything that he hasn't seen before.
Definitely.
And at high levels, we have seen him get caught before. One of the scariest knockouts that I remember seeing in a while against Marlon Moraes.
Yeah.
But he's since learned from that mistake, and I still think he'll be able to pull this one off, Aljamain Sterling.
Yeah.
So I'm going against George in this one.
Yeah.
The last couple times I've gone against George hasn't turned out very good for me, so we'll see how this one goes.
I hope he wins, man. I really like Aljamain.
Yeah.
I really do.
So
and Jimmy Rivera, Pedro Munoz, similar strikers to Petr Yan, and he handled them fine. So
that's what I'm
he definitely has the path to victory. He definitely does. There's a reason this one's very close, you know. It was a close fight.
Aljamain Sterling. Lock it in.
Lock it in.
Lock it in.
All
right, so the next one here, Amanda Nunes versus the sacrificial lamb, Megan Anderson.
How dare you?
Oh, sorry, did I say that out loud? So,
how dare you?
Dude.
Hey, you know, Megan Anderson's lost just as many times as Amanda Nunes has.
Dang, you're right. She should be the champ.
She should be the champ. But Amanda does have double the wins.
Double the wins.
In double the weight classes.
One of these women is considered to be the greatest female fighter of all time. One of the best fighters of all time, period. And it's not Megan Anderson.
It's not.
And quite honestly, I haven't been very impressed with Megan Anderson's fights, her performances with her UFC fights. So I think it's one of those cases where at the 145-pound division within the women's weight class there, we're running out of opponents for Amanda Nunes.
But Megan Anderson did beat the girl who beat Amanda last, so that counts for something, right?
Because MMA math.
Yeah.
Because MMA math. Lock her in.
Yeah.
No, don't lock her in. Don't lock her in. Now, when I'm taking a look at the odds too.
Yeah.
If Megan pulls this one off,
I know.
That's a big if. This will go down as one of the biggest upsets.
Yeah.
In UFC history. So.
Yeah. And anything could happen. Honestly, Megan has the physical attributes to kind of stuff Amanda's game if she uses her physical attributes correctly. Problem is, we haven't really seen that.
What are those physical attributes?
In her fights? Her length and her footwork. That alone. Very different. I know. Well, that's what I mean, right? Like, if she uses those advantages and her attributes, she can present threats that Amanda has had issues with in the past. The problem is, I just don't see her doing it. It's like kind of like Stefan Struve, you know,
the skyscraper.
Physical gifts that he just refused to learn how to use correctly. And Megan Anderson's kind of in that same position where, man, if she put it all together, she could be a dominant force in this game. And I ultimately don't think she has, and I don't think she will for this fight. And I think Amanda's probably gonna do her thing, most likely.
I think this is one of the most secure, safe bets I could make. I wouldn't make very much money off of it unless I dropped some serious cash.
I do think Felicia Spencer just beat Megan Anderson, right? Her last loss is Felicia Spencer. But Felicia Spencer did way better than anybody expected her to do against Amanda Nunes. Way better, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, it can happen. Megan can win this fight. This is a winnable fight for her, but I don't see it happening.
So again, we take a look at Holly Holm. She fought Holly Holm and she lost unanimous decision. She fought Kat Zingano. I don't know if you remember that one, but that's a really weird eye injury one.
Yeah.
Where Kat Zingano just couldn't see for like the next year after that.
Yeah, it sucked.
But that counted as a W for her. After that, she lost to Felicia Spencer. So Holly Holm, Kat Zingano, Felicia Spencer, probably the toughest competition that she has faced in the UFC.
Yeah, and struggled with all of them.
Struggle with all of them. Give her a couple of better matchups.
And then we get a title shot.
And we get a title shot. That's what I'm saying, man. It's just the case.
No, I know.
And with all due respect to Megan Anderson, I bet you I can walk in that octagon with Megan Anderson and get knocked out with a quickness. Or choked out with the quickness. But we're talking about one of the best fighters of all time, and I believe she's still in her prime right now. Yeah. Against a fighter that's still trying to find her way. Mm-hmm. So for me, it's an easy lock. Easy lock for Amanda Nunes. Same. Even Rich the Casual. We mentioned Amanda Nunes, and he's like, I've heard of her.
Yeah, I've heard about her before he joined this podcast.
That's right. So if Rich the Casual has heard about this fighter, Rich, when did you hear about Amanda Nunes?
I guess some just viral, visual posts going around social media. That's where I'm going to leave it.
It's probably when she beat Rousey, probably, is when she really started blowing up,
Yeah, and I think he's talking about the picture she has of the two belts. Where she's nude, I believe. Dude, you see her on, what was it, ESPN, the body issue?
Was she on that?
Dude, yeah, she was on that as well. But she has become a sensation, you're right, after... And you talk about the folks that she has beat, man. And she doesn't just beat them. She knocks into retirement.
I would have loved to see that Cyborg rematch, though, I'll be honest.
Oh, man. So Cyborg, she knocked her into Bellator.
Yeah, I think she knocked her down 4 times within a minute.
Yeah, and when she woke up, she was next to Scott Coker. And then you see her...
When she woke up, she was talking shit about Dana online.
Dude, she's just an absolute animal. I love watching her in this fight. And now she's got that mom power. You thought she was strong before. Just wait, man. Just wait.
Yeah, seriously.
Do you have anything else on this fight?
No. Amanda Nunes is my pick.
Amanda Nunes is my pick by TKO.
Yeah.
TKO.
So far, going into this main event, the first fight, we disagree on. Second fight, we agree on. Third fight, we disagree on.
Yeah.
Fourth fight, we agree on. I wonder if we disagree on this one.
We're going to disagree on this one?
I doubt it.
Just to keep it going? So we have Jan Blachowicz, or Blachowicz, depending on who you ask, versus Israel Adesanya.
Adesanya.
Dude, what?
Adesanya.
Adesanya.
No, the emphasis is on the E. Adesanya, not Adesanya. Yeah,
Adesanya. There we go. I'm going to continue practicing that one. So this is, dude, I'm so excited for this one. Izzy's quickly becoming one of my favorite fighters to watch. Mm-hmm. I just love the way that he carries himself. I know that he comes across as arrogant a lot of the times. I just see it as extreme confidence from this young man. He backs up everything he talks about. He's 20-0 in the UFC. He's got over 100 professional fights under his belt.
Yeah.
When we talk about boxing, Muay Thai, and MMA.
Kickboxing.
Dude, this guy is the real deal for me. Blachowicz, though, has that creepy power behind him.
Everyone's calling it the Polish power. I don't know. I think it's something else.
It's the dark arts. He's got the dark arts power.
He's got the dark arts behind him, man.
Dark
Maybe
arts
studying
power.
him in Harry Potter if he was in there.
Something we're talking about that Richard Casual could probably
teach the kids how to defend themselves.
So
Adesanya just walks out with a Snape lookalike in his corner.
Dude, he's got to do whatever he's got to do.
With defense against the dark arts.
Who do you have in this fight, Mr. Will?
I'm sure the odds favor Adesanya.
Yes, they do favor Adesanya.
Yeah. Wait, I'm sorry. Who do they favor?
Adesanya.
Yeah, there it is.
There you go.
And ultimately, I agree with them. I think this is, and you see people making the comparison, right? The whole very similar to GSP coming back and fighting above a weight class when Michael Bisping gets the belt. He wasn't doing that when Anderson had the belt. He wasn't doing that when Rockhold had the belt. So. And Eugene Behrman's so smart, and this wasn't even Izzy's decision. This was his camp decided this for him after his last fight. So obviously they see many paths to victory, paths to become a double champ in this matchup. The timing's right for them. When they say that, they mean Jan's the champ, so now the timing's right. That's what they mean, right? And I don't think it's any disrespect to Jan. Jan's a kickboxer too, and Izzy's fought up to heavyweight in kickboxing. So it's stylistically they're right. It is a matchup that they can definitely win. The difference here though is that grappling is involved. It's not a kickboxing fight, and they're in the smaller cage. And Jan, we've seen, has very good clinch work against the cage. So we talk about paths to victory, right? I think Jan has a lot of paths to victory in this fight, and it's with grappling. It's not with his striking. The grappling might open up the striking, right? But I think the grappling is his key to victory here. That being said, Izzy's footwork is phenomenal. And I know they're in the smaller cage, but he's fought in the smaller cage before. And his footwork is second to none right now. And more importantly, his distance management is probably the best in the UFC right now. And I know he's not taking that lightly. He's smart. They're very cerebral. That whole camp is very smart. They know that Jan has wins because of clinching against the cage. They have to know that that's the threat. Ultimately, I think this could be kind of a slow burn, not a lot of entries type of fight, because Jan, while people are claiming he's a knockout artist, right? Other people are talking shit. He's not a knockout artist. He hasn't been a knockout artist his whole career. But you look at his current 4-win streak, 3 of them are knockouts. You know what I mean? So sounds like a knockout artist to me. Everyone's gatekeeping whatever that means, but come on, give him some credit. That being said, most of those are on the counter. Izzy also, most of his openings that he finds are on the counter. What usually happens when two kickboxers who are counter strikers fight? A lot of stalemate, a lot of no you go. And if
very
Jan
much
is waiting,
Yoel Romero.
Yeah, but I think Yoel recognized the wood chipper he would be walking into if he went first. Mm-hmm. Where I think Izzy and Jan both will test those waters more so on each other. Yeah. Especially because Jan, I'm sure, knows that a key part of his success in this fight is going to be the grappling, and those openings don't happen unless you engage. You know what I mean? So that being said, I think Jan, the risk versus reward, right? The risk versus the reward. I think the risk that he needs to take in order to get his path to victory, the risk he needs to take to create those openings for the grappling exchanges, are going to also end up being his demise with Izzy's distance management, and I think he's going to probably beat him. I don't know if he knocks him out, but I do think Izzy wins this fight. And I don't think it's going to be an exciting clash of knockout artists. It's not going to be that fight.
I don't know, man. I have a feeling that Jan Blachowicz is not going to win.
Fuck.
But I do have a feeling that he's going to leave himself a little more open on this fight than we think he would.
Mm-hmm.
Now, from hearing the Polish power and hearing, all this talk about the knockouts that he's had recently, mm-hmm. Him having the power rope that he carries with him everywhere, like all these different things, I feel like he's really falling in love with the KO just from seeing some of the embedded in some of his interviews and things like that, and everybody talking it up. So I feel like he's going to want to make a statement and go in there and try to take Adesanya out, which now gives Adesanya the opportunity to do what he does best, which is counter.
Yeah.
So I see Izzy beating Jan Blachowicz via TKO 3rd round.
Gotcha.
That's what I
I think he's gonna finish him. Yeah.
I think he's gonna finish him.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yep.
I do think, man. I do think this is a. What are the odds? Did you already say the odds?
I did not. So taking a look at it, Adesanya is favored through every single site. The best odds you can find on Adesanya, let's see, minus 230 from 5 Dimes, Sportbet, Bet Online, and then taking a look at Blachowicz, we're looking at about plus 210 on opening.
Plus 210. I get it. That's not a bad bet, man. That's not a bad bet on Jan. I really think Jan could pull this off. I really do think he can.
Now, just so everybody knows, when I say the best bet on the underdog, I'm not looking for who has it closest. I'm looking for who you could place a bet on and make the most money on, right?
Yeah,
for example, on opening, Blachowicz is plus 210, but you can find something as close as plus 180 through Intertops.
Okay,
but if you're looking to place a bet on Blachowicz, opening is the one that has him at plus 210.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I could see Jan getting this done, honestly. Jan's power is legit, and his striking, his hands are very similar to, like, the way he throws his strikes is very similar to like Kelvin Gastelum. And he's got a chin. I think he's got a chin on him, Jan. So he could just make it through that barrage, that wood chipper that Adesanya is, and he might go straight through the pipe and land on him.
And that's something else too. Like I could see Blachowicz having a little more confidence in his chin, thinking that he has a middleweight coming up to fight him, and he's fought some pretty powerful guys in the light heavyweight division.
Yeah.
But
But Jan also had a career at middleweight.
True, but they say precision beats power, right? And that's something that Izzy definitely has. So we'll see, man. Either way, I wouldn't be surprised if Blachowicz ends up knocking Adesanya out with one of those strong dark art right hands.
Yeah.
But I gotta go Izzy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, same.
All right. That's all the fights on the card. At least on the main card. Super excited.
Yeah.
Can't
Very
wait.
Excited.
I'm gonna see if I can drag Rich the Casual over to the house so he can finally watch some fights.
Yeah.
Finally, fights outside of Mordor or where Lord of the Rings, wherever it is. So
yeah, the location Lord of the Rings.
Yes. Sorry, Richard Casual.
That'll be a fight within itself.
Yes, it will. All right. Do you have anything else, Will?
No.
All right. So good luck to anybody that's placing any bets. We'll go ahead and circle our picks, get them going on Instagram. So if anybody wants to, kind of reference that, you're good.
Hey, and tell us in the comments. Tell us how stupid we are for some of our picks. Talk shit.
For sure. And tell Rich the Casual that he needs to finally watch some fights in the comments. All right. Thanks everybody for listening to Speak the Story of the Fight.